TripleTen community, welcome back to our live streams. We know it's been a while and we're so excited to jump back in today with Wendy. Wendy's going to share a little bit about her TripleTen journey and then how she found a job with TripleTen after the program. So I see she's just joined, so we're going to get her into this. What the job search was looking like. So if anybody has any questions for Wendy, we're so open to hear them. If you want to pop them in the chat at any point during the live stream, we'll answer them closer to the end. Hi, Wendy. That was perfect. Welcome to our live stream. We're so excited to have you.
Hi, Olivia. Thank you very much for having me. I'm very excited to be here and to share my experience with all the audience of TripleTen.
Awesome. Well, we're so pumped to be here. And we'll just dive right into it. So, Wendy, do you want to maybe introduce yourself to everybody? What's your name? Well, everybody knows your name is Wendy, but what your program was at TripleTen when you were in the program?
Sure. Well, my name is Wendy Zambrano. I was in the QA program with TripleTen. What else can I say? I am from Venezuela and I live in Florida. Before I was in the QA before I was a QA, I was customer service representative, and I work also in the QA area for customer service.
Yeah, you have a really unique background that I kind of want to dive into. And then you actually started out, I think, as a biology and chemistry teacher. That's correct, right?
Yes, correct. Well, back in Venezuela, I study biology and chemistry and education. So I graduated in around 2009, and I worked just a couple of years in Venezuela. Of course, the situation wasn't good there, so I decided to move. I moved to Manila, Philippines, where I lived for 11 years. During all this time, I work as a customer service representative, but not exactly all the time as a customer service representative. I dive into different roles. I was also a trainer in that area. I also was a SME, which is like subject matter expert. And then I was able to work as a QA, but more in the area of processes for the customer support team. During all that time, I kind of forgot about education. I was not able to work more in education because it was a different country. I needed to do a validation, and the conditions were totally different for me. So I speak Spanish. I'm a native in Spanish, and I use that the language in Philippines to actually find a job in that area, the BPO industry. So yeah, so that's kind of my experience, my work
Yeah, that
experience.
is a great background experience of where you came from in your job career and how you found kind of your path to the US and then finding TripleTen from there. So that is a great start to this. So I know that you mentioned that you had a short I guess experience with QA before joining TripleTen's QA program. So what made you realize that you needed more training and upskilling to fully step into this career again after coming to the US?
Well, as I said, I lived in Manila, Philippines for 11 years. Then my husband got transferred to the US and we started living in the Virgin Islands. I made great connections in my companies where I work in the Philippines. So I stayed working with one of the companies for almost a year. But then things happens, I got laid off, and I was working as a QA in that company, but more in the process of customer services. And then when I was laid off, it was well, I felt like I kind of had a breakup with a company that I love, and I started looking for jobs, something that it was similar to what I was doing, but it was totally different. Working in the Philippines for 10 years gave me a totally different perspective of the job market that how it is here in the US. So I started diving into LinkedIn, reading all applications for QA. And that's how I noticed okay, in this QA area, there is a lot to do. And one of them is the QA tester. So while looking for applications and descriptions of the roles on LinkedIn, I find that I'm missing some stuff that the job market is needing right now. and needed to learn about some of the tools that are like currently the companies using. I needed to learn some programming languages, and I found TripleTen while looking for all of that. So I think for me it was like love in the first sight. I really, really like say, okay, this is what I need. I read the QA program and totally felt like this is what I need and this is what I want to do. And I immediately I apply. I mean, I start talking to someone. So
That
yeah.
is a great lead in for our next question. So thanks so much for sharing that. I feel like that's important to just know like what your background is too, and just seeing like, okay, going from QA, going from a QA layoff, seeing that you needed to be upskilled, and then finding TripleTen. So what stood out to you specifically about TripleTen's program when you were deciding to join? Especially because I know in our previous conversations you said this is your first time studying in English too, so that comes with another set of challenges.
Yeah. Well, first I read the about TripleTen in Spanish. So I was like, looking at reels and I found this guy influencer from Mexico that was talking about the program. And everything like he mentioned it was in Spanish. So when I inquired about the program, I thought like I could study Spanish. I would feel like more comfortable to do it. But then, since I'm located in the US, I was not able to do that. I had to study in English. And then at the same time, I was like, okay, I feel like this is a challenge. I know that I speak English, I can do it. However, since I never studied in English in anything, like was like a little bit afraid of it. But it was okay to do it. I mean, I think it's something that I needed to do. Now, regarding the program, or what I like it about it is the flexibility that it come with that. Like I could dedicate according to the program, and it's actually true, like 15 to 20 hours a week. So I could work at the same time. I cannot just stop working and study. And then you also have the flexibility to study whenever you want. And there is like tutor hours all over during the whole day. So you are able to, if you are stuck somewhere in the program, you're able to talk to a tutor during your time. Like you don't have to like necessarily adjust to the program time, but it kind of like adjusts to your time because there is a lot of flexibility there. And also, he has like a lot for what I was reading, a lot of real life experience. That's what I needed, right? So you study something and it just comes like the theory part, but then there is a practice, which I really like it because it brings you to real projects, how it's actually in real life work, and you get experience on that when you're going to apply. It's not just like, oh, I know this as a theory, but I actually have projects on that. So that's why I decided for the program, because it has like a lot of elements that match with what I was looking for at the time.
That's awesome. And obviously, it worked out really well. And we'll jump a little bit more into your job search later on in this live stream. But that's a really good overview of like what drew you into TripleTen and what was stand out to you. Because I know people are always curious to see why people chose TripleTen. Like, what was the deciding moment for you? So jumping more into the program. So how did the career prep program and like the mock interviews help you feel more confident during your job search when you were done the program?
Well, I kind of like have experience with interviews, like the normal ones, I'll say, like those first interviews, but they helped me a lot in the career acceleration program with the interviews for technical skills. So there was someone like asking questions that could come in an interview where you feel a little bit more afraid to, and you don't know exactly what to expect on how to answer. And also, there were like, uh, evaluation of how you do it. It's not just like, okay, let's do an interview, but there is feedback, and they will tell you exactly what errors or what mistakes are you making in the interview that it will not help you or that will like bring you to, um, let's say, like out of the list of the applicants already. So that was very important for me. Not just like I complete the program and that's it, but there is like a companionship during those after the program, and they help you find a job and they help you with the interviews. And right now, it's actually that I'm doing that also with TripleTen. I'm helping people doing the mock interviews. So I see the other side, and it's actually something that I needed, and I know is helpful for the people who are able to do the mock interviews because they will correct things that maybe they don't know, and they will know how to answer a question. There will be like some guidance and how to answer a question, but you don't know the question or you don't know exactly how. But so it's very, I'll say like the important part of the program that is just not let you there with this is the information of the tools, but there is after like something that it will guide you as well to find a job and to prepare for that job. Oh, and something I want to talk about is something that maybe happened to everyone is like the imposter syndrome. Once you do your job, like you do your program, you feel like you're still not prepared for that. And it's actually not true. Like if you study and you did all the projects, you have a great idea already of what is in the real life. And all those mock interviews will help you canalize all that work that you did in the last months to actually a role, a job that you can complete. So the mocks interview help you prepare for that to leave behind the imposter syndrome that I feel that it comes with all this type of boot camp because you feel like, okay, I did this for a few months, but it's actually something that you have built in your career and you just like canalizing all the knowledge and all the skills that you have into a new career. So yeah, it's
Definitely.
very
Not
important.
like throwing you to the wolves after. It's kind of the full package of we're going to teach you the skills and we're also going to teach you how to like work in a workplace and then also how to get the job on top of it. And I I just totally agree with you. And practice makes perfect, and it also releases that anxiety or imposter syndrome that you're having. So thanks for touching on that. I know a lot of people have imposter syndrome, especially after coming out of the program or even just in tech. So it's always good to highlight that and just say like it's a thing and this is how you can get over it or cope with it on top of it. So, jumping into your graduation. So, you graduated in June of 2024 and you landed your QA role by December. So, what was your job search strategy kind of going into this, especially when you were keeping in mind that you were looking for remote work?
Yeah. Well, it was like on hand with what TripleTen had and the storage for in the career acceleration program. First, it's like the preparation of all the tools. Like you look at your resume and you feel like, oh, this is right. But then when someone else look at it, they will find all these mistakes that they are there. And if you are not a person that have been looking for a job recently, you really don't know how a resume will look nowadays, and it actually changed all the time. And so that's the first part. Like you prepare your resume, you prepare your LinkedIn page, because even if we either either we want it or like it or no, like recruiters are looking at your LinkedIn page, they are looking at you in a different perspective that you don't even imagine. So that's also something very important. And after that, it started with like knowing what you want. I When you're looking for a job, you just say like, oh, I just want whatever it is there. But it's actually not like that. You also have to be a little bit picky on what you want to do, what company you want to work. In my case, for example, I knew that I wanted a remote job. I needed. I have kids and I want to spend time with them. I want to be able to be in the house when they're here, like help them with their homework, help them with even the minus thing, like they cut a finger and I need to put a bandage. Those kind of stuff are very important for me. So I I was already like deciding I don't want to work on site right now because I need to be there for my kids and my family, but I also want to keep going as a professional. Like I just don't want to be there in the house. So so you have to plan what you want. And then that's when TripleTen helped me like tailor all that. Because honestly, you think like you don't have options and you just have to get whatever is there, but it's not really like that. Sometimes you have to get picky on those things. And then the other part is like what's very important is like the application process. Um, when you're applying, start looking for a job. Is sometimes you are not that constant or persistent on doing it. So it can happen that you just apply for a week and then you feel very disappointed because nobody called you, everyone sent you rejection emails, and you feel like awful, and then you stop doing it. But TripleTen keeps you going. Like you have to keep trying, you have to keep applying, you have to be all the time looking for the right jobs. It could be possible that the day you didn't look for a job or you didn't apply, that's the day that they posted the job that actually you wanted. So it is like finding a job is a job itself. So they keep you going even when all the negative part, that is the rejection emails, like the time that you dedicate for that. And that's, I think that very important for me was that like all my job search was a little bit up and down. I was pregnant at the time, so I needed like a little bit of a push from someone, and the career coach helped me with that push and telling me, asking me, how are you doing today? Are you applying? And what have you found in the market? Like, is there anything you're interested in applying? And you need that sometimes. We're humans, we'll need it.
You definitely always need someone in your corner to keep encouraging you. And I know our career coaches are so good at that. And you're so right in saying that job searching is really a full-time job itself, or a part-time job. At least it's a 20-hour a week job, I would say, especially with
Yeah.
this market. Which I do have my next question is about the job market being competitive and like that kind of thing. But we actually have a question in the chat. Somebody is preparing for a mock interview with TripleTen in the QA program for this Friday. Do you have any tips to help them prepare for their mock interview?
If I have any tips to prepare for the job interview,
For the mock
um,
interview.
for the mock interview. Okay, so it is the mock interviews will try to like ask or like try to, yeah, mock a real interview, but it's important if you're not sure about what to prepare, you can actually connect with the person who's gonna do it and like ask maybe for a role description, what are we are talking about, so you're a little bit more prepared, because in real life there will be there will be a role description and all the questions will go based on that. So if you want to be more prepared, I will recommend that. I'm sure that any person who will make a mock interview like I did will provide you that information if you ask for. Other thing is like if you don't know a question, which is totally normal, just try to move it. Say honestly, like I don't remember at the time. I know I studied this or I learned about this a few months ago, but I don't have it on the top of my mind. Don't try to like make up information or like try to evade the question and try to make it like right, but when you actually don't know, that will make it worse. And you will, and that's actually like in real life, it is like that. And the other thing is to take advantage of the time. Like if you feel like the interview was shorter because you provided short answers and you have 30 minutes and you know it's a mock interview, ask questions, try to talk to the person who is making the mock interview to provide you feedback if it's possible or at the moment, and or ask questions that you will do in real life, so you will see if you're actually making the right questions for those interviews. I think
So
that's my tips for those
those are
mock
great
interviews.
tips. Those are awesome, awesome tips. I hope that helped this person prepare a little bit more. And I feel like those tips are really applicable to the real life job search. So kind of jumping back. So thanks for sharing that, Wendy. That was a great response. So the job market obviously is very, very competitive right now. Not as competitive as you were applying last year, but still it was competitive. It's still competitive. It took you 6 months to get that job. So, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced in applications and interviews? And then, how did you even prepare for your technical interview round?
Well, the challenges is for me, the biggest one is the rejection emails. That really takes a lot on your mood. Like you feel like devastated once you receive a rejected email. Every time you receive an email and it's coming from a company, you feel like you're like you're you're like, oh, I have an email, and then it's like a rejection email and it's terrible. So that's one of the challenges, and in my perspective it is like natural for us to feel like that, but we have to let it go right away. Don't focus on that, focus on the positive, that is like there is still other jobs to apply, and if that is not the right company for you, for sure it's not going to happen. So don't focus on that, move on and go to a different company. And then the other when it comes to the interviews, well, in my case, I have like 3 interviews. So there is always an initial interview that is with the recruiter. That one usually doesn't like have a lot of information regarding your technical skills. They will not be discussed too much, maybe a little bit of your work experience. But in that interview, I will just recommend people to let the recruiter know who you are, like focus in what you are as a person, what you can provide to the company, what are your skills, like are transferred from even like different careers, like are you a person that will actually be trusted to work in that company? That's, I believe, what they're looking for. And for the technical interviews, read the role description. That's what you have to focus on. If you know that it says, okay, you have need experience in um, Agile, or you need experience in SQL, you need experience in JSON, study that, be prepared for questions regarding that. And regarding the QA role, be prepared for questions regarding type of testing and real situations, like how will you test this type of product? So, and if you don't know the answer, because it could happen, just try to be honest with the person who is like, I really don't know exactly the answer for that, but try to compare with something that you know, see if, and that will actually work sometimes, instead of like trying to say something that it does not even related to that. So yeah, that's my tips of what I did, what I think I did. Try to focus on that for the interviews. Is the role description. Just read it and be prepared. Also look at the company, see what are the culture, what are the values that the company has, how do they work, and reviews about the company, what people say when they leave, what people say that are working there say. So that's also important.
Those are great tips and takeaways, and just like referring to your experience, like what that looks like. I know a lot of people are maybe in the program now or are thinking about switching to tech, and they're like, I don't even know how to do an interview. I haven't done an interview in so long, or I don't even know what a technical interview is. So those are great takeaways for people, even just to get a sneak peek as to like what is happening in the tech world in terms of the job interview process. So touching on the exciting part of this, so after all these applications and doing all of these interviews, you finally got that phone call with that job offer. What was going through your head at the time when they offered you that job in December?
Well, it was a bit skeptical about it because it was by phone and I was not expecting it at all. So it was not like the typical interview that they will send you an email sometimes and say, "Look, can we call you this day at this time, and or what is your availability?" They just called me out of the blue, and I was skeptical about it. Like I had received before a lot of calls that are from scammers, and so it was a bit. So what I did first was to research my email, like, is this company real? Did I apply for that? And then when I see like, yeah, it is. And I saw that the name was actually on on LinkedIn. I looked for the name of the person on LinkedIn. I kind of like took it serious in that moment. So it was like that. And that first interview, I was just myself. Like I explained why I was looking for a job. That's one of the questions they always make. Like, um, what is your work experience? I explain where I come from. I try to make them like see exactly what I who I am, and that kind of work. And it's kind of like surreal, like thinking about it, because I don't know. I was skeptical, and I could be like maybe a little bit rude at the beginning, trying to figure out if it was real or no. But never like be rude right away. Like if you don't know, just try to first find if you actually applied for that, and if the person that is talking to you is a real person, and that's yeah.
That's so fair. I totally hear you on that, being skeptical, answering the phone because they didn't send you an email. So I fully have been there too with like, who is this? Why are you calling? And then you're like, oh, this is actually real. I actually have the job. And you can kind of wash away all that anxiety because you finally, all that hard work did pay off. So very exciting overall, Wendy, to hear that. So now that you're working in QA, how are you balancing motherhood and your career, and how has remote work made a difference for your family life?
Well, it is like within I have like a support system. Like I have my husband and my mom and my mother-in-law were here, where my mom is still here, helping me with the kids. And but basically it's like the balance is like work and the kids, and sometimes the kids and then work. You have to learn how to prioritize your time on the tasks that you have. In my experience, like my role is like very flexible in the way that we have tasks to complete, and then I focus on finishing my task. And the time that I know my kids sleeping, my kids are in school, my kids are like eating, watching TV, doing something. So that's the moment that I have for me to work. And then they have also like kind of like a schedule, and this is the time that I usually eat. So I prepare, and I know that during that time I cannot schedule a meeting, or I have to tell my team like, I'm sorry, can we reschedule the meeting because I have something to do at this time. And there is always like a lot of flexibility because we all work from home. Most of them have kids, so it's a lot of understanding of that. I think that people that looks to work from home is because they have a lot of things going on, and we all need that flexibility. But at the same time, we take care a lot of the job on doing the things right and like completing our task on time. So um of course it's not always possible, like, and but you have to be honest with that, with your supervisor, with your team, like, look, unfortunately something happened and I have to do it, and those kind of things happen, but I will like do this later, or and compromise with something and then complete it on the time you say, and that usually works. So yeah, it's very, very fun. I love it because it's not like I can just sleep and wake up just to work. I have a lot of things to do before starting to work, but it gives you that flexibility to control more what you do and what time you do it. It's not like when you have to go to an office and you know you have to be there from this time to this time, but you have to organize your time yourself. And if you do it, it's wonderful for not just for you, but for your kids. The kids love it because they know that I'm always here. Like they wonder if actually moms go to work. So they also say like, oh, when I am old, I'm gonna work from home because I can be playing with my kids. I can do this, and they have plans already on the same kind of like remote remote setup for them. So it's very fun to have them all the time around.
That's amazing. You're setting a really good example for your kids. It sounds like they want to follow in your footsteps. So that's awesome to hear. My last question for you today, Wendy, and thank you so much for sharing your experience. I hope that it's helped everybody that's been on this live stream today just hear a little bit more about TripleTen. It's always great hearing from like an actual person who has graduated the program and who has got a job after the program, because I know online courses can sometimes be scary, but at the end of the day, we're really helping people to change lives, and we just really want to highlight that because tech is such a great industry to be in. So looking back, what advice would you give to other parents or career changers who might be maybe in the same area as you, like customer service, but dreaming of a career in tech just like you?
Well, I will just tell them, don't be afraid of the change. Like, it's not easy to go from one thing to another. I feel like in my case, it was not too much like changing from something else to tech, but there are people that is like working in hospitalities, working in hospitals, working in as a teacher. Like, they have a totally different lifestyle. And that jump to a tech career could look like very scary, but don't be. It is possible even if you don't have a lot of experience in computer software, like whatever. The programs will teach you what you need for the job, so that is important. And if you don't have like any idea of what it is after you read the theory, there is actually a support system there. There is tutors. There is your career. I think right now, before they call it success manager, I think they have a different name right now, like coach, learning coach. There is a learning coach that will also help you. And there is a lot of people in the community and that will be able to help you. I have a lot of conversations with students of TripleTen or ex-students. How do you say that? I don't know the name in English, but someone studying TripleTen. And that is actually like also like me all the time talking about the benefits that doing a bootcamp like TripleTen has. So just if you are able to like jump to that and leave your fears behind, it's going to be great. If you feel like it's the moment for you to change a career or to have like more time with your kids, or like you would like not going from out of the house for a week like sometimes we do, that's the right place to do it. Like you can start with TripleTen. There is actually a lot of options there, not only QA, but there's also like other programs that might work better for you. And yeah, just don't be scared and ask. Just contact people that have done that and try to see if that's what you're looking for, because it's not for everyone. But if you feel like something is itchy there, that it means like there is something for you, that and that it could be something beneficial for you.
Awesome. That is great advice, Wendy. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to hear from you.
Yeah.
Great story. Great to hear about your success within TripleTen and getting a QA job that you've been in for over 6 months now. So exciting to hear about that. If people are wondering about what type of programs TripleTen has, visit the link in our bio. It gives a really great overview of what programs we have, the price breakdowns. We have really flexible payment options, and what everything you get with TripleTen. We also have a new course out right now. It's called AI automation, which doesn't really involve a lot of math, to my understanding. I know people are asking about how technical some of these programs are. You could always jump on a call with an advisor and they'll give you a rundown of like, this is a really math heavy program, but this one's not. This one may be best for you. We will also post our career quiz on our story if you just want to see like which program would be best for you. So keep an eye out for that right after this. And other than that, any last thoughts before we leave today, Wendy?
No, just thank you so much for having me here in the live. I'm very, very happy to be sharing my story with you and the audience, and I hope that it helps people or someone that is looking for a career change. So yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you. Thanks
Lydia.
so much.
Appreciate
Have a great
it.
week, everyone, and have a great long weekend. And we will see you soon back on our live with another student. So thanks so much and have a great week. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.